Today on the Cosy Art Club we're going to be having some fun with some collage from Kitchen Roll, so stick around and see how I put that together. So the first thing you want to do is to grab your piece of kitchen roll. Now, usually these are plied a bit like paper napkins, and if you ruffle around at the edge of your, sometimes it's easier than others, but if you ruffle it around a bit, it would help if I had some nails. I sadly am lacking in nailage at the moment, but we shall persevere. Takes a moment, but all you need is one piece of paper napkin, and this, take it carefully, will separate out into 3 pieces. So you want your napkin to be as thin as possible. It's a bit like working with the disposable napkins, but this is kitchen roll. The second layer I always find is a little harder to do, but it is possible, I promise you. It's just a case of a little bit of patience, just to find that little opening. As I say, nails help. I think I can see something there. I've got a nail there. There we go. Whoops. The second layer is always a bit more delicate. So just take your time. Separate it out. However many layers your kitchen paper has, you want it to be at the thinnest layers you can get. So my kitchen paper has 3 layers. So now I've got essentially 3 pieces of paper to work on. Now what you want is some baking paper. I've grabbed these out. You can get this on the roll, you can get it as sheets, however you get it. I've got mine here. I'm going to pull off 2, so I don't think I'm going to need more than 2 sheets for this. But you can, sorry about the rattling, you can do as many as you like. So the first sheet is that one there. What I'm going to do is to lay my kitchen roll down slightly bigger than the sheet. I'm just going to crop it down a little bit just because it fits on the sheet better that way. So just snip it about there-ish. You can save that as well. You can put strips of these down. You can have them as like a washi tape. That works too. Right. So now we need to add some water. I've got my mister here, which is very handy. I'm just going to mist it down, and it kind of sticks-ish to the backing. It's kind of disappeared now. Not totally, but you know, it's kind of faded a bit. So I'm going to get my core watercolours. Any watercolours will work for this. I'm just going to use the ones that I've got in this palette here, because I want some blues and greens. So I'm going to get my watercolour activated with some water, a jar of water, and I'm just going to start to very gently paint it on. Let it do what it will. It's quite fun, this bit. Well, all of it's fun, but you know, it is relaxing. You're not concentrating on anything apart from trying not to ruffle up your kitchen paper. The warmer weather we've got at the minute is quite handy for this also. I haven't tried it with a heat gun or a hairdryer, but I suppose those options are always open to you. I'm just going to add some green into this mix. Oh, yes. Yes. I'm liking the blues and greens today. So this is going to be my first piece. You can do as many of these as you like. You only really need one for this collage, but if you want to go and play, you want to get yourself a whole stash of these together, then this time of year, especially in the UK, not so much in Australia maybe, I'm sorry, but in the UK, it's a good time to be having to play around with your colours and your tissue papers. And we're just painting it on. Satisfying. You don't know what you're going to get either. You never know how it's going to turn out. I don't know why I've added some orange in there, but I did. I thought I was dipping into a green, and clearly I was not. I'll go back into my greens and blues over here. Filling in my sheet. Little gaps all filling in. Adding more in. However I want my sheet to be. Do I want to add in a little bit more of that yellow? Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Oh dear. So once you've picked your colourway, I don't know, I'm quite liking that orange. I've added a bit more in just in case I need it for anything. You never know. You never know. It's kind of quite earthy. Ooh, do I want a little bit of Payne's Grey? Ooh, I say, Jeffrey, that's rather nice. Let's get some of that in there. Not sure I'll like it or not, so I'll just do a little bit. Okay, so this sheet now just goes off to dry, and you can paint up as many as you like in different colourways. You've got 3 pieces from 1 piece of kitchen roll, so you know that's pretty good going. So I'm going to let this dry off. I'll be back in a moment. So after a short while, your sheets will have dried, and they literally almost float off this baking paper. Don't throw this away, by the way, because you can save this and reuse it for this technique as many times as you like. I don't suggest baking biscuits on it though. Not the best plan. So you can see I did 2 in similar colours. Kind of got 2 with the same kind of colours in. Then I did one in like an orangey, reddy, pinky way as well. I'm going to save that one because I want to use this one. Now you can get either a sheet of paper or a sheet of cardie paper. I've got some cardie paper here, but a sheet of watercolour paper is good. This is probably not quite thick enough, but I'm just going to go with it because I like cardie paper. I don't mind if it crinkles a bit. So what we want to do now is I'm just going to get my other scissors. And out of our paper, we want to cut about 4, well, I'd say an even number, not an even number, an odd number of pebble shapes. So, or egg shapes, whatever you fancy. And I'm just going to cut some of these out. Might make that one a bit smaller because that one's not got any pigment on it. So I'm going to take that smaller. Now you'll notice your kitchen paper still has a kitchen papery kind of texture to it, but that will disappear in the next step, hopefully. It kind of blends out a bit. I mean, it's quite a nice texture anyway, so I'm not too worried if it stays. I'm going to get a bigger one out of this piece here. It could be a lot neater with my pebble cutting, can I say. So you want varying sizes. I'm going to do about 5, I think. I do like odd numbers. It's probably the same size as that one. Okay, let's try and do a smaller one. I'll do a smaller one from here. Make it a bit wider. Maybe a bit more oddly shaped. You can do your pebbles. I mean, pebbles come in all shapes and sizes, don't they? You can just and go to town. Got another one that's probably around about the same size as that one. So I'm going to get all these out of one sheet for my one piece of collage abstract. I quite liked the addition of that Payne's grey into that blue. It looked quite nice. There we go. So I've got 5 bits. You can do as many as you like. I'm just going to kind of arrange them a little, see how I want them to go. Kind of like that, I think. So now we're going to glue them down. I've got some matte medium here, but you can use ordinary glue, school glue, whatever you like. Anything will do. I've just got this on my desk, so I'm just going to put a bit in this little dish. And this is where it all gets messy. So instead of a brush, she said, hopefully, I've got one of those somewhere. I've got like a spreadery do, this one here. So what I want to do is to vaguely remember, I mean, if you've got your phone on you, you could take a picture of where all these sit. And I'm just going to glue these down with my matte medium. So that one will go there, like so. I could probably add in a little bit more underneath that bit there. Even though it's separated, the kitchen paper will hold together. Please do not try and do this with toilet paper. It will not work. It won't work. Toilet paper is meant to fall apart, so you don't want that to be happening as you're trying to put your pieces down. I've also got a smudge on there. I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to worry because I'm going to be adding some more stuff into it anyway. My fingers are going to get messy. So this is probably the messiest part. And also you get a nice overlay areas where the colours overlay each other. I always find that quite fascinating. There we go. Smoosh it on. We like a bit of smooshing here at the Cosy Art Club, don't we? Like to smoosh. We don't like to smooch. Well, maybe we do, I don't know. Maybe some of us do like to smooch. But I definitely like to smoosh. Could do with a bit more of the matte medium in a moment. But as I say, any glue will do. If you've only got Pritt Stick, do it carefully because obviously it's got strength to it, but it's not got like super strength. So a wetter glue is probably a nice idea for this one, if you've got some. But do use what you've got. See, I've broken that one already with the edge of my spatula, but I'm not going to worry. We're not going to worry. We don't worry here at Kooky Towers. We just carry on regardless. We know a song about that, don't we? Yeah. Let's get that one not stuck on my finger. Trying to smooth. I see I've damaged that one beyond repair. Let's stick this one down. I'll get another one of those. I've got plenty of kitchen rolls painted up here at the side of me. That's the joy of doing 3 at once. And as I say, you can get 3 from one sheet of kitchen roll, which I think is pretty darned good. Okay, trying to be a bit more careful now. So yes, and some of the colour will come off. We do not worry about that at all because it's just going to add into the mix. Right, I quite liked that one because it had a dark area, so I'm trying to find some scraps. Actually, this one's got quite a nice dark area on it, so I'm going to go with that. I'll be adding some more dark in. It's not a big deal, but I did like that one that I ruined. Right, okay. Take two with this piece here. I've probably just got enough matte medium to get this on. Could probably water it down a little bit with my spray bottle, make it go a bit further. Waste not, want not. Oh, I'm determined not to get this last one down, aren't I? We just keep going. Carry on regardless. I'm going to lay that one down there. Come on, play the game. You know how it goes. There we go. I shall add some more in. There you go. Stick you down. So we want to wait for that to dry off a little bit. It won't take long, and I'll be back in a second. Right, okay. It's not completely dry. I'm not going to worry too much. I'm going in with the watercolour I used to paint the kitchen roll. I'm just going to add some more pebbles in. Some painted ones on top of my stuck down ones. Just stuck down. That top one's not quite stuck down, but yeah, I'm going to go with it. And I'm going to go with, I don't want that one. I want a green. Greeny. So just using the colours we used, just adding in some more with some watercolour on top. Different sizes, whatever you like. The bluey one down this bottom end here. And it will also take up some of the colour from the tissue paper as well, which will then kind of bleed into it a little bit, which is quite nice. And just have a look at it, see if you need a bit more balance somewhere along the line. Oh, I might go in with some of this yellow. Let's see what we can do with that. Kind of like that. Brilliant. I'm going to add a touch more up to the top here just because I want to add balance into the piece. Okay, and now I'm going to let this dry again, and this needs to dry fairly well before we go on to the next stage. Okay, I've got my aquarellable pencils, so I've got watercolour pencils. I've got Stabilo All, which is water soluble, and I've got this Faber-Castell Art Grip Aquarelle. I think I'm going to go with it all just because I like it, and I'm just going to not concentrating too much, just scrabble it all over the place, giving myself some paper marks until I'm happy with what I've got. Is she ever happy? Is she ever happy? Who knows? And then I'm going to mist these because that makes that Stabilo All become more liquidy and watery. You can get it to move around a bit. Can you see I've got some drips coming down there? Might put a cloth just underneath. I quite like the drips. I like some drippage. So I want to try and encourage that a bit more. Just going through, more drippage coming off there, drips coming down. That's why I say you need a fairly strong paper. I'm quite confident with the Cardi paper being a little bit thinner because it is a pure cotton paper, so it's a rag paper, so it's going to be fine. I'm trying to encourage those drops to come down by tapping the back of the paper. Just to mish and mash it a bit more. We've got nice little droplets coming down there. That's cool, that's cool. Right, again, we need to dry. So it's the drying time that takes the time, but you can go and have a cup of tea or have a wander around the garden, go for a walk around, and come back and see what's occurring when you come back. So I'll be back in a second. While it's still wet, I'm just going in with You can either go with your Stabilo, or I've got this watercolour pencil, and I'm just adding some darker areas onto some of my shapes. Just because. Why not? This one needs to go up there a bit like that. And because it's wet, it will instantly turn into some kind of a water, unless it finds a dry spot like that, which is quite nice also, because you get like a, if you've got like a textured paper, you get like a textured thing going on there. I don't know if you can see that. This is a just play around with it and see exercise. You just play around with it and see what you get. Okay, I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to get my darker watercolour. You could do darker watercolour, or I've got these Gansai Tambi Sumi colours, which have got like their Sumi ink colours with different colours inside them, if you see what I mean. They all look black here, and they all come out fairly dark. And I've got a Sumi blue there that I think I might try, because I think I ought to maybe leave this to dry a little bit longer. So I'm impatient, but you know, I'll go and do something else. I'll go and listen to my podcast for a bit. Of course, you don't have to do the pebble shapes. You could do flower shapes. This could be like a floral piece. If you use something like this paper that I painted up, you could do like floral things with that. That would work really nicely. In fact, I may try that with that one at some point later. But all the little scraps you have left over, you can save these, and they can just go into your collage pieces for other collages. It's just a simple little thing that works very effectively at getting colour down. In a different way to tissue paper, it acts differently because it's meant for something else. So tissue paper isn't meant for mopping things up, whereas the kitchen roll is. So you get a different kind of effect. Watercolour tends to float a lot on tissue paper, whereas it instantly sinks into your kitchen roll, and it kind of gets into the fibres and stuff. So that's a difference, really. Okay, so I'm going in with this Sumi blue. So I'm going to get quite a good consistency. I'll do it gently at first, just going over and painting in some more of those pebbly shapes. Yes, it will probably activate the stuff underneath as well, but I'm quite happy for that. I don't mind that at all. And this gives us some darker areas. I know we've got the darker area from the watercolour pencil, but now we've got this Sumi ink, and I'm just curious to see how this works out. I'm going to add another one in here, I think. And you can add in whatever else you want to, but when you add some stuff into this one next, it needs to be absolutely completely dry. I'm going to do, oh, I've got a green. Yes, I do. I'll try a Sumi green, see if that makes a different colour. Well, it will make a different colour, but you know what I mean. So I'm going to put a bit there. And a bit there. Right, I'm going to let that dry off, see what I've got when it's completely dry. So this is all dry, and as you can see, I've started to add in just some mark making, because the Caran d'Ache crowns go on these very well, but also acrylic markers would work. Pencils would probably work. Let's grab a pencil out. Yeah, pencils work really nicely. Actually, I'm going to extend that spiral. You know I do like a spiral. So just add any marks that you fancy making. I'm trying to pick the lighter colours here. and then just add in some bits into my piece until I'm happy with it. I'm just playing with it. It's like a little unexpected collage for whatever reason you want it to be. And I'm just enjoying adding in a few marks into it. And then I think what I want to do is add in some gold. So I'm going to grab my gold paint. I'll be back in a second. So I've got some of my iridescent gold fine. This is the high flow of the golden paints, which is more of an ink. It's more of an acrylic ink texture. I have got the iridescent gold fine in many variations because it's one of my favourites and I do like it a lot. I'm just following the lines down here of this black marker. Could probably do with a finer point on my brush, so I'm going to see if I've got a finer brush, which I said should have somewhere. Ooh, could try a bit of wire. Let's try a bit of wire, see how that goes. That's quite nice. I've put some of the acrylic paint into a dish. And I'm just having fun with it now. I could do with, yeah, I could probably do with the paintbrush. Okay, I found this one. This is an Aquafine, really, really tiny little brush. Oh, that's better. Yeah, that's working so much better. I'm just finding areas just to add little detail into, just because, and why not? This technique is just such a nice thing for throwing everything you've got at it. Just having as much fun as you possibly can. I quite like that gold line there. I'm going to strengthen that a little bit. Just play with it until you're happy. I'm just adding some leafy elements in here now. I shall probably play with this technique again because I'm enjoying the different kinds of things I can add in, and there's no plan, there's no rules, and I really do like that kitchen roll collage paper. That has definitely going to make its way into the rest of my collage stash. Because I find that very, very good. Nice addition. Okay, I'm going to grab some white. So I put some white in the bowl. And I'm just going to add some splatters. Just by loading up my brush. And tapping gently against the back of the brush. Yeah, I really like that. Pretty cool. So I'm going to let that dry, and that will be my piece for today. Hope you've enjoyed having a play along. If you've had a go, I'd love to see what you do. And if you do have a go, don't forget to pop over to the Facebook group and post a little picture of what you've been doing, and we can all admire it. Anyway, that's enough from me for today. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll be back here very soon with something else. Bye for now.